Okay. This is Josh T. Franco interviewing Devon Dikeou at her home in Denver, Colorado on July 7th, 2020 for the Smithsonian Institution Archives of American Art Pandemic Project. And that's the scripted part, and it's done. Devon, it's really nice to see you, and thank you for doing this with us.
Right on.
So this is really just, these are brief, and we want to know how people in the American art world are doing. So we can start just, at the top of the questions. Tell me how these past few months have been for you since March, since the pandemic hit us.
Well, I suppose that's the how are you, which I already answered with right on, which is the wrong answer, but here we go. Okay.
Move on at will.
I'll go with, hi there. I'm quoting Washington on Welcome Back, Kotter. You look up what sweat hogging is. But we're all doing well and hope everyone else is doing equally well. As you can see, I'm wearing a mask, but I'm going to put another one on because, like a jockey, I can put many on.
I have not seen anyone do multiple masks. This is a first. You're setting precedent.
I can't even manage to do it. Good thing I'm not a jockey at the Kentucky Derby. But we published 2 masks by Romana Dardova 6 months before the pandemic, or sometime around there. Maybe it's longer. I always get time screwed up. She's a terrific artist. And somehow her patient mask, she's a Czech artist, which is, Eastern European, and you'd think that masks would be more from like Eastern cultures like Asia. But she made them, and maybe they help people in the art world a little bit. Super cool. And that's the treasure. To be given the opportunity to see many things and be able to be exposed to such creative artists and early in their career. It's part of my practice, sharing other artists with other people. And I want to share in that kindergarten kind of way. That's not so easy at this time. And there's Zoom, which we're doing, and there's FaceTime. But real interaction is hard to replace, and it makes it feel really Logan's Run. And by the way, what was your first mask? No, I know the answer.
Mine was also Ramona Dardova. That I was such a weird, quarantine happened. We had a lot of time at home. I started deep cleaning, and then I found my Dardova mask. Can you tell us more about where I found it? It was part of a Zing issue. I don't remember the number. And so also just to note, you're the founder, editor, creator of Zing magazine, which I've always seen as like, when I enter, it's a world you enter. And I remember when I entered Zing world, and you really are dedicated to sharing other artists' work along with yours.
I met Romana in Prague, and she carried me off the plane, like with the little like iPod that says, I'm looking for Devon Dikeou, and to my place of residency. She, I had a residency with the Black Cube as a Black Cube fellow in Prague for an exhibition at Futura. And we became really, good friends, I would say. And our visitor studio, which was in this like place far away from the center of town. And she showed me this project that she was doing, and she was hand making these masks. And I thought, and seriously, we were just about to, it wasn't 6 months ago now that I think about it, but we were about to publish a magazine, and I'm like, she's got to be in it. And and these masks have to be in it. and that was just remarkable that we did that.
Why was she making masks? Because she was making masks long before COVID hit.
Yeah, she was, because she'd been doing residencies in Asia, and mask wearing in Asia is a much more prevalent thing than here in the Occidental societies. And she and even when we're in Prague and she's putting them on at the, at the pub or wherever you are, and just for me to take a snapshot, it was really interesting because it seems so strange. And she was really prescient in all of that.
Yeah. Do you want to show yours off a bit? I'm trying to see their hands at the bottom.
It's a hand that goes across. I may even have it upside down. No, it's a hand that goes across. She has another one that is sushi.
I have the sushi one. It's hanging on the doorknob right there.
Put it on.
I'll put it on, sure. Oh, it was in my pocket.
There you
Good idea.
go.
This is fun.
Oh, see? There you go.
I love it.
And so now we go to question 2, I guess?
Yes, let's do it. So what do you think is missing from accounts of our current crisis?
Well, I was going to go to question 2, which is tell me how the past few months, weeks have been for you. But I think that,
yes, yeah.
And I said, selfishly, I was working with Courtney Lane Stell, independent curator, and my team to produce the MidCareer Center for the past 7 years. And it encompasses my practice for 30 years, maybe more. And it opened just before the US realized its COVID-19 ordeal, and closed like 2 weeks after. And it will reopen after Labor Day, and when people feel safe and comfortable, as well as with programming. And that will be when you come out.
I look forward to it.
And we'll have a grand old time. There you go.
That's great. So what were those 2 weeks like? I want to, since it was so short, I'd love to give you a chance to inhabit it a little bit. It must have been nice to open. That's a retrospective of your career so far. It's huge.
Well, it was really wonderful. The opening was great. A zillion people came. There was a big band and party and all the brouhaha. And it was wonderful in the sense that there were a lot of people that are not necessarily involved in the art world that were there and got to see it. And then a wonderful thing happened. There's this group of teachers from the universities in the Denver, Boulder metro area. And they kind of have like a book club of university teachers in the art world. And they meet once in a while and go to shows. And they all came. That was a real highlight. And at one point we go, and they want the long tour. You always start out a tour with how much time do you have, and they want the long tour, which means it's like 2 hours, because there's over 60 rooms, and it's in 2 spots, a pop-up space on Colfax and at our downtown space. And it was going to, but not now, have a Airstream for Z Magazine where people could go and read Zing magazine. And so usually there's one or two rooms that you don't go in or you don't say anything about the piece because people's attention span is pretty short. And so we went into the Rolodex room, which is my Rolodex for 7 zillion years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on plinths, and it's kind of like a parade of Rolodexes with underneath plinths. And one woman goes, it's all women. Okay, there's no men. Okay, and so I don't know. Anyways, and she says, are we allowed to enter? And I'm like, yes, of course. Are we allowed to touch? Yes, of course. She figures out that it's arranged alphabetically. And she goes immediately to O. And then she finds what she's looking for. And then she goes, may I take a picture? And I'm like, yes, of course. And then she says, will you come and take a picture with me? And I'm like, yes, of course. All right, so this goes on, and then we leave and we go on to the next pieces. And in the end, she goes, because it's, it's like a book group thing, it's like, let's summarize what we saw, kind of thing. And then she goes, I have a confession to make. I'm Yoko Ono's daughter. And I didn't even know Yoko Ono had a daughter,
I don't think I did either. Incredible.
But obviously it's from a previous engagement with someone before John Lennon. But she goes, I have to, and it was on a Saturday, and she says, I have a conversation with my mother every Saturday, and she wants me to say something interesting. And today I have something interesting to tell her. So that was kind of fun. So that was
you found Ono in the Rolodex.
What did you say?
You found Ono in the Rolodex.
Yes. Well, it's not hard to get her in your Rolodex. She lives in the Dakota. I'm not like getting any secret information.
Of course, yeah. That's great. What a nice story.
Well,
but there's going to be many more like that when the show reopens. So let's move on to the next question. Which we skipped the lessons one, but so this is it. What do you think is missing from accounts of the current crisis?
Interactions, closeness, 50 ways to leave your lover, relational aesthetics. So humor in the end trumps it all. Everyone should laugh a little bit more. That's my thoughts. And I'm glad you laughed.
I think I don't think the masks have seen their full potential. You sense it more than others because of Derdova. But I think a lot of comedy could happen here, right?
Yes. I mean, come on, let's make the lips go. Why not?
Yeah.
Next question.
So what do you think can't be captured by standards accounts of our current crises?
I didn't get that one. So.
Well, we'll move on to the next. So how have you felt the impact of COVID in your life?
6 degrees of separation. There's a sadness because everyone knows somebody who's lost somebody.
Yep.
And it's just, same as everyone else. I think it's just horrible. And but what are we all have to be responsible and take care of ourselves and not have so many selfish thoughts, hence the mask.
Have you had observations about Denver, the impact, as a Denver citizen, you grew up there, how has Denver felt?
I think Denver's pretty responsible. It's a pretty politically correct environment. Maybe more rurally, they don't need to use masks as much as people do in Denver. And so they're not abided by as much. But I think everyone here seems to try. I think we've entered phase 3.
Mm.
So you can do dine-in dining, and everybody really tries to respect each other's space. But I live on a park, which we can get into later. It's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There is also other ways that people are expressing themselves.
Mm. I like this question. How are you caring for yourself and your loved ones right now?
Usually I'm cooking. Haley
Mm.
knows that. She gets lots of good stuff, and sharing and gardening. But even that is sort of off limits because people don't want to eat food made by somebody else. And hiking is a good thing. I think it's the underrated yoga.
Say that again. It's overrated.
It's the underrated yoga,
Oh,
hiking.
I've been going on very long walks, like hours.
Exactly. It really helps you feel good and
Mhm.
cleans your mind and makes you feel better. And is a way that you're outdoors and, you know, I just love it.
Yeah. Can I
Even,
ask what kinds of things you've been cooking?
oh, yes. I cook transparent pie, Sally Lunn bread. Everyone's making bread. You can't buy yeast. There's no yeast and there's no flour. And chocolate sheet cake, Colorado chocolate sheet cake. And my best girlfriend growing up, Annie, wrote me uh, in the New York Times uh, that they had the Colorado sheet cake recipe. And I said, who at the New York Times got the Grayling Country Day cookbook? Okay, because that's where that came from. And we're just giggling about it all the time. But chocolate sheet cake, chocolate pie. I make a lot of pies.
That's
I'm
great.
good at pie.
Nice.
Uh,
Um, so let's see. What has changed for you and your work during this time?
I'm following a little rule that my father taught me: call 5 people a day. Obviously, that analog communication is outdated, right? But now it does work, even in our digital environment. I have this project called the Open Art Fax Line,
Mhm.
where people can fax in art or what they're thinking or feeling. Number is, I had props here, but I obviously lost them. 720-379-5972. Originally, it was done in the early 90s. And then, like now, the faxes were political
Mm.
because that happened at the time of Rodney King, and now we have George Floyd. And so we have things like this coming in. Minneapolis officer charged with murder.
And that
And
came to you as a fax in the project?
yeah,
Amazing.
people fax that in.
Yeah.
And so all these faxes come into the fax machine. So Barry LeVay's style, they just fall on the floor scattered.
Right.
And there's also sentimental faxes, things like Christo dying,
Right.
And there's also more local ones like the Denver Post, for fourth night, Denver police unleashed tear gas and foam bullets as marchers again defied curfew, like that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a reflection of the time, and it's kind of Mary Barone, one of my friends, she said it's like the first Facebook. People can fax in what their thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But they can be artistic, somebody making a drawing, or they can be silly, like a joke,
Mm.
like, you know, the stupidest, like a Richard Prince joke, but not even a painting.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things. And I think it's important at this time of COVID to and protest for closure for art somehow to be present in this analog old way of communication and archiving it at this time as it passes. It's a public diary, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So we only have a couple minutes left. Do you have a question you really liked to want to respond to of the remaining ones?
Okay, well, let's go to the next one.
Sure. So what has changed? Oh, we did that one. What draws your attention? So has the way your attention gets drawn changed?
And then I have one more that I must do.
Please.
I watch TV 24/7. I Dream of Jeannie is on my TV schedule. In fact, I think it's on right now, and I'm missing it. Think about background, mostly all the capers, but most of all, think of Jeannie in a bottle, quarantined for 2,000 years, and freed by Captain Nelson. He's not yet a major. And one particular episode, Jeannie in her bottle is accidentally given to the Russians, and it becomes a national crisis. But she saves our democracy without anyone knowing, including Dr. Bellows.
Wow. I love that idea of her as the hero.
Well, okay. Now, my next question that I want to do is, how do you envision as the crisis continues? Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hope and Maud. Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care if the whole world looked. Joan of Arc with the Lord to guide her. She was a sister who really cooked. Isadora was the first raw burner, and you're glad she showed up. Oh yeah. And when the country was falling apart, Betsy Ross got it all sewed up. And then there's Maud, 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 and then there's that old compromising enterprise and anything but tranquilizing right on Maud. Okay.
I got my lighter out for you.
And then I want to just finish with this. I was working in, aside from all my 70s sitcoms that are normally based, I was working on a series of videos for the MidCareer Center that didn't come into fruition. And one of the concepts was that the video backgrounds were of news programming. It didn't matter who it is. It's Hannity, AM Joy, Morning Joy, Morning Joe, whoever it was, Rachel Maddow, NBC News, CBS News, so all the backgrounds behind them. But it would just be the backgrounds without the commentator. And like very Jack Goldstein, taking these like images that are on in the background that you don't think about. And I didn't manage to make it, but now Zoom has done it for me, and you can choose your own background or choose one from the curated ones Zoom could give you. And even the commentators are now venturing their thoughts about colleagues' interviews, interviewees' curatorial choices of books, art, and even pineapples. The in-between is now more relevant than ever.
Absolutely. That's a perfect line to end on, I think, Devon.
I had a better one, but that's okay.
Do you want to give it?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm happy with how everything went. So.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
It's my first time on Zoom, and I was very nervous, and you made me feel very at ease. And thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. So I'm going to stop recording, but I'm not hanging up. But I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.